There's a new me coming out, and I just have to live, and I wanna give. I'm completely positive. I think this time around I am gonna do it like you never knew it. Oh, I'll make it through. The time has come for me to break out of the shell. I have to shout that I am coming out. There's a new me coming out.
Welcome to the show Never Too Late Ever, where we focus on making the next chapter of your life the very best chapter ever. I am your host, Lorraine Hoving, and I am really happy once again that you're here and you're joining us today. I know that there's somebody out there today that is going to hear this message and need it. And so I am excited. Open your heart, open your ears, and listen. You may find a gem, a treasure that you can apply to your life today. Well, today I am really excited, as you can tell, to introduce you to Adam. Adam Schaeuble. Is that how you pronounce it? I was looking that over and I'm going, does that sound right, Adam?
It's a tricky one. It's Schaeuble.
Schaeuble. Okay, where is that originated? What nationality?
From the dark corners of the jungle of Fitnessville. No, it's German. It's German.
German. Okay, got it. Okay, and you just heard Adam's voice. He's got this wonderful radio voice, which I love. Now, I want to start first with one question, and then I'll do your bio. My question to you today, Adam, is what wakes you up on fire each morning to tackle your day? What is it that gets you up and going?
Well, that's a great question there, Lorraine. With me, it's about making an impact. And, people like you and I, we've both been on our own health journey, and that was exciting. But the first time I realized I was able to help other people go through that same journey and cross that bridge and to see the impact in their eyes that this was really making a difference in podcasting and coaching and things like that. So, getting up out of bed, putting my feet on the ground and going out ready to take action and make a difference in people's lives. That's what's got me on fire right now.
That's exciting because I feel that too, that fire. It's like a fire in your belly, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let me tell you a little bit about Adam. Adam Aka, known as the PhD, which stands for Previously Heavy Dude, is the host of the top-ranked fitness podcast, the Million Pound Mission, and I got to be on that, so I'm excited about that podcast. He reached a point in his life where he weighed 327 pounds and was already having related health issues in his late 20s. He decided to overhaul his lifestyle and his fitness and ended up losing over 100 pounds. Feeling inspired, he took what he learned from his own transformation journey and created a boot camp program that produced over 35,000 pounds of results in his hometown of Bloomington, Indiana. Now, Adam has set his sights on inspiring over 1 million pounds of healthy results through his podcasts, coaching programs, and the Million Pound Mission Bootcamp. For one question for you: how far are you along the path of making the 1 million pounds?
I'm very excited to announce that we just crossed 55,000 pounds last week, Lorraine. So we are marching right along.
That's exciting. So first of all, I'd like to ask you a little bit about, so you were 27 pounds when you were somewhere in your 20s. Now, I know the roots of why I kind of overate. Now, tell us a little bit about your story. Were you born a chubby little child, or were you around people that had habits, or what was your story on how you gained your weight, and a little bit about you and then how you lost it?
Yeah. Well, I've got a little bit of a unique story. I grew up very, very athletic in Indiana playing basketball. I was an all-conference basketball player my senior year. I graduated high school. I weighed like 180 pounds. And
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
so I went to college and I quit playing basketball. So I stopped all that activity and I started like, going out and partying and drinking alcohol and stuff like that. And I put on 20 to 25 pounds every year in college. And you come out of that and you keep that kind of momentum going. A couple of years out of college, that's when I found myself weighing 327 pounds, and just the lack of that calorie burn that I was getting from playing basketball, that was one thing. But the food addiction really got its grip on me, Lorraine, where like I turned to that person where you know you give me a pizza, I'm eating the whole thing. You give me a bag of cookies, I'm not just eating one, I'm eating all of them until they are done.
right.
I was the king of the Taco Bell $10 for 10 taco box. I would go and just like crush that whole thing, and just sit in my car and eat it, no problem. So it just
Right.
got the calories got out of control, and I couldn't stop it until I got to that point where I kind of hit that rock bottom moment, and it wasn't just with my health. Relationship wise, I wasn't happy. I was $40,000 in credit card debt. I was in my mid 20s, having the health issues. My career wasn't going the way that I had expected it. And I just decided for things to change, I needed to change. And I had a friend that had loaned me the DVD, The Secret, The Law of Attraction.
Oh, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it was actually the second friend that had done this. So it kept on attracting itself to me. The first time I pretended to watch it and I gave it back, I'm like, oh, great show. That was awesome. I don't need this mumbo jumbo. And then the second time I sat down and watched it, and it just blew me away, Lorraine. It was the first dose of personal development I'd ever had in my life.
Wow.
And I sat down that night and I mapped out what I wanted to create in my life over the next 5 years. And like I said, I realized that I was kind of a crap magnet. I was attracting all these bad things into my life, and I had to flip that switch. And I created a little thing that I call my lifestyle rehabilitation statement. And I put that where I could see it every day. I read it every morning and every night for 5 years. And over that 5 year span, I never missed a day, a morning or a night. And it just set the tone, every morning, what I was looking for, the connections I was looking to make. And then at night, it was accountability, because I had to wake up and implement every single day, even if it's just a 1% movement in the right direction. 5 years worth of those 1%ers moving in the right direction resulted
Mm-hmm.
in that resulted in me losing 100 pounds, my hometown losing 35,000 pounds. I got rid of all my debt. Started a business. Started my boot camp and the whole thing.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was a big deal.
How exciting. So it was like a mantra you said in the morning, or just kind of like a mission statement for your life?
Yeah, so I can give you some of the basics around it. I
Yeah,
basically,
I'd love to hear that, because I think that's a powerful idea of somebody out there that might be at a crossroads right at this very moment, and that might be key to them.
Yeah.
So, if you could give us some framework around what you created for yourself, and what I think is really exciting is that you said you didn't miss a day in 5 years,
Yep.
which I think is key to consistency. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So, I'm glad you want to dive deep on this. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, Lorraine. So, I looked 5 years in advance, and I don't know why I picked that number, but it made sense to me. It seemed like I had some major things to kind of overhaul in my life, so I needed that amount of time. I didn't want to say 6 months, because that's kind of feeling that's too short a time. It's too much pressure. So I chose 5 years, and I just wrote down all the goals of what I wanted my life to look like. So basically, if I was going to sit down and have a conversation with myself 5 years from now, and everything goes perfectly, mentally, physically, spiritually, relationship-wise, career, what does that look like? No holding back. No negativity, no going, oh yeah, but that's probably not realistic. Just what do I want to create?
Right.
And I wrote it down. And then I had to write it down as if it had already taken place.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't, I hope I lose 100 pounds. It's, I've lost 100 pounds. And then I had to add feeling and emotion behind that in the document. So I've lost 100 pounds and I feel amazing and confident. I can go out and travel, and I feel like I can move. My body is full of energy. So things like that. And so I had to have positivity, no negative terms were allowed inside of that document, including the word debt. So I didn't say anything about getting out of debt because I didn't want to repeat the word debt to myself twice a day for 5 years. So I wrote down the word, I live in abundance. I have financial freedom. You have to flip that verbiage. I feel like that's really important because you don't want to feed those negative rooted words into our mind space. So I map it out. It's all positive. It's written as if it's already happened. And every morning I would read it with energy and really try to put myself in that space. I've lost 100 pounds and this is how I feel. And this is why I've done it, and really feel that feeling and just put myself there, work myself up emotionally till I'm like, this is where I'm driving today. And that was kind of like before, I felt like I was standing in a hallway and there were open doors in front of me. I just couldn't see them because the lights were off. And just being introduced to the law of attraction, the light switch came on and I could see, what doors were open. I could choose to take those opportunities or not. So little things like somebody inviting me to a martial arts class, before I probably would have said, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'd be too embarrassed to do it. Yeah. So, and this is a great example. Somebody did invite me to a martial arts class, and I went and I made a connection there as part of me losing weight. But eventually, that was the first place I rented space from to start my boot camp program.
Wow.
So little things start happening, Lorraine. So every morning it was starting the day. What am I looking to attract in my life? What am I driving towards? And at night, it's accountability. I would not let myself go to sleep until I did something, whether it's a mini workout, read a few pages in a book, drink some extra water. Like I had to drive towards this overall life I was creating before I went to bed. I had to do just the smallest things, send an email, read a blog, anything. And then I could allow myself to go to sleep. And every morning, every night, read it out loud, feel it. And now, one of the really important things that I want to get across to your audience, Lorraine, is that you can't spell attraction without action. All right. So this was not me sitting and magnetizing the universe and pulling, magical unicorns into my life. It was me focusing on what I needed to focus on and then taking action in alignment with that every day. Right. That's the key. That's the key. So I talk about, I use an analogy along the lines of, a really sharp axe is no good if we never actually swing it. So we can do all the personal growth that we want, but if we never implement tenaciously consistently, then we're, going to end up wasting a lot of time. And that's where a lot of people get frustrated. They feel like they're trying really hard, but they're just doing a lot of prep work. And it is important. It's equally important, but you have to then put that into action. So that's kind of the grassroots of how I did everything there.
Right. And I love that story for so many reasons. But first of all, how long was that thing that you would read for the mission statement or whatever? What did you call it exactly?
Yeah, my lifestyle rehabilitation statement.
Okay, your life. So how long was that? Because I want to give the audience an idea that it doesn't have to be 2 or 3 pages, but even just a paragraph that you say to yourself daily.
Yeah, for me, it was important that I could read it in under a minute. So I didn't want this to be a 10-minute long thing.
Right. Right.
I had to set the tone and have the accountability 1 minute and make it your own, but it shouldn't stress you out. And then when I teach people this process, like I do, and this is part of my coaching, and I teach people how to do this. And I'm like, this should fire you up. It should not stress you out. So the length of it is up to you. If you need more, add more. If you need less, add less. If you need to change it as you go, change it as you go. This is for you. So that's very important.
Right. Great advice. So that it's not a rule for somebody. It's not a have to. It should be something that they create and then that inspires them, excites them each morning to read. I'm the type of person that if it would be too long, then I may not do it. But 1 minute under, I'd be on fire for that. So the story inspires me for a couple reasons. You took responsibility for Adam. You weren't looking on the outside for anybody to motivate you or get you excited. You dug deep within, which I had to do on my journey too, realize I was responsible for myself. And that's what you did. And then I loved your analogy about being in a hallway and all the doors are there, but the light's not turned on. Yeah. But what happens is when we change from within, the lights begin to turn on.